actual meaning of Holi. And also we will know how it is celebrated in India. So it's a festival of colors, but it also has a festival which is celebrated a day before the actual festival of colors. So it's a 2-day celebration. So we are going to learn, or we are going to know about Holi festival today, and we're going to know that it's not a journey from the colors we play, but it's a journey of who we become. The colors we become, the different colors which Mother Nature has created, and how it helps us to become who we are. So we'll know that journey in the whole presentation. So the topic is from colors of celebration to colors of the soul. So everyone knows the terminology soul? Yeah, everyone is aware of soul, right? This will be a very interactive class, so I encourage you. Questions will be taken at the end, but if you have any, kind of interaction, right? So, Holi is not only a message which we get externally, but we also have to reflect what does Holi mean. It's a deeper meaning of Holi, right? So we'll get to know that. Now, as I mentioned, there are 2 days festival of Holi. The first day is Holika Dahan, which is a story, in which I'm going to tell you the story of Prahlad and his father, Hiranyakashipu. So, Hiranyakashipu was a demon king, and he was given a boon by Lord Brahma that he will not die by any weapon, he will not die, or no one can harm him, neither human nor animal. He cannot be killed by any weapon, or he cannot be killed in the daytime, in the night time. So basically, a boon which indirectly makes him immortal, right? No death. So he developed this huge ego, right? He started thinking that he's God because no one can kill him now. So that ego, he started creating problems for people around him who started worshipping Lord Vishnu. And he said, no one will worship Vishnu in my kingdom. Everyone will be only and only worshipping me because I am God. Now, that's the ego, right? You are telling that I am the controller of everything. We know we cannot control, right? We cannot control our hunger. How are we going to control the universe? So I cannot demand that I am the controller of this entire universe when I know that I cannot control basic things in my life, right? But he had such a huge ego that he said that everyone should worship me. Now he had a son, 5-year-old son. When he was out, worshipping Lord Brahma and making, doing austerities to please Lord Brahma, Indra already saw that he's, advancing. So what he did, he tried to abduct his wife, and then tried to kill the son, or the child which was in her womb. But Narad came in and he said, don't worry, this is a dear devotee of Lord, so we don't do this. So Narad Muni preached his wife for 9 months, and that preaching, because of that preaching, Lord Prahlad heard in the womb the glories of the Lord, and he became a nice devotee. And when Hiranyakashipu came back from his, getting that boon, and he came back becoming more powerful, what he did is he asked Prahlad to go to school, go to Gurukul and then learn. But every time Prahlad was more and more devoted to Lord Vishnu, and he was all the time praising, which was totally not accepted by Hiranyakashipu because he was considering he is God. So he doesn't want anyone else to be worshipped. And contrary, his own son was worshipping Lord Vishnu. 5-year-old boy, 5-year-old boy, 5-year-old boy, right? So he understood who is the controller. He understood who is Lord Vishnu. And I'm not sure if everyone has watched Mahavatar Narsingha movie. It's a beautiful movie. I don't know if it's still here, but it's on Netflix. Please go and watch. I literally, you will literally have goosebumps and you literally cry seeing the devotion of that 5-year-old boy. It's beautifully made movie. It was nominated for Oscars as well. So please go to Netflix, watch Mahavatar Nursing. Almost everyone has watched in India. It's a huge animated movie, beautiful movie. And this 5-year boy, old boy, doesn't have any kind of, skills, right? Material skills. Neither he was bodybuilder, neither he was strong, neither he was having like a lot of expertise in different weapons or other stuff, right? But a simple boy, 5-year boy, but he understood the essence of life. He understood what actually is your life for, and that he remains very, very, very faithful to Lord Vishnu. But Hiranyakashipu did so many things. He threw him from the mountain. He tried to poison him. He tried to put him in a, where there are a lot of snakes. He tried to harm him, the way you could even imagine. I mean, his own son, right? So now look at what Prahlad Maharaj was going through, that he was a 5-year boy, old boy, and his own parent, right? His father. Parents are supposed to protect you, right? But a 5-year-old boy's father, he himself is trying to kill him. Now, how much 5-year-old boy? Now, imagine if I don't give whatever my daughter wants at 5 years of age, she'll start like, what is this now? Fight with me, right? But this 5-year-old boy was accepting whatever his dad was doing with him. He was saying, okay, if you want to throw me out from the mountain, I am ready. What was the strength behind that? The strength was his immense faith in Krishna. That whatever I do, I know Krishna is protecting me, he will save me. And that's what Krishna did. So when everything was going on, then comes Holika. Holika is a sister of Hiranyakashipu. So she was also given a boon by Lord Brahma that she cannot be, so she was basically immune to fire. So she was gifted a shawl, and the minute she wears this and sits into the fire, she gets immune to fire. So that was her boon. So Hiranyakashipu said, now I want you to take Prahlad on your lap and sit down, and we'll have a big pile, like bonfire. You just put the fire on, and I want to burn him. I want to kill him. I want to see it in front, and I want to have all the people see it so that no one will go against me. I mean, imagine the terror where you see a king ready to kill his own son. So imagine how the people around will be terrified, like who are we, right? So he wanted to create that terror and rule by saying that I am powerful, accept it, or this is the result. So they were all going through all these things, and she took him on her lap and she sat down. Now, the next thing is, because Prahlad was already having immense faith, Holika got burned and Prahlad was saved again by Krishna. Now, many people will say that what happens to Lord Brahma's boon, right? But that is the proof that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, right? So we have to understand that there should be immense faith in Krishna, and if you have that faith, there is no fear, and if there is no fear, then you are protected. You don't feel defeated. You are not, a man. Prahlad was not powerful. His fight was not with his father. He was just having immense faith. He never ever counterattacked. He never ever disobeyed. All he wanted his father to understand that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he was pleading with his father that please accept him. He will forgive you. He is very merciful. Just accept that his simple request, right? But the ego which Hiranyakashipu had, the ego which Holika had, that no, I have this boon and I can birth. Nothing was there. Prahlad was saved. And the reason Prahlad was saved, because of his devotion, right? His devotion, his unalloyed devotion, his intense faith in Krishna that he will protect me, and because of that he was gone. So in India, we have this celebration. So I have been raised with seeing this celebration in India, and the place where I live, there were no one celebrating Holi. So it was my home who had this Holika Dahan at home. So I've been raised. So it is said that it's a victory of good over evil, right? So I have seen this, I have celebrated it. It has been an integral part of my life and I really miss it. Believe me, I really miss the Holika Dahan, because I remember that everyone was coming, and that was the festival where we used to see all our neighbors gathered in front of my house, and we are like Holika Dahan, and everyone was praying, and everyone was circumambulating that fire, and so we knew the story, but we never understood devotion of Prahlad Maharaj till we read the scriptures, and I could encourage everyone to see this movie. When I saw the movie, I felt that it's not possible for 5-year-old to remember Krishna so much. Like, it's such a big thing. And when you see that it's nothing big thing. Like, it doesn't take too much for a person to, it's not much effort, right? In material world, if you want to achieve anything, it's too much effort. You have to get up in the morning, go to Gobar, work hard, and then at the end of the month you see your paycheck, right? But here, simple, you just love Krishna. Just be there. Like, all of you are here today, that's what it is matters for Krishna. He's seeing you, right? What matters most is that, yes, Krishna, I'm here. I'm here to be with you. I'm here to listen to what are your glories are. And when I step out of this temple, I want to have that faith increase in me. And when I get up in the morning, it's a new beautiful day, and I would feel that I'm protected by you, and whatever comes for that day, I will be protected because I know that you are with me. That faith is something which should be there whenever you see Krishna. That is the prayer we want. I don't want to forget you ever in my life. You forget anything, but just don't want to forget Krishna. So that was immense faith. Prahlad Maharaj wanted to see, was seeing Krishna everywhere. He was seeing Krishna in Hiranyakashipu, his dad. But he was seeing Krishna is within you also, right? So I cannot hate you, right? The biggest thing Hiranyakashipu did, I am God, is ego, right? But ego was there, and then he was thinking that I am God, and he started considering Prahlad as enemy because Prahlad did not consider him as God. But Prahlad never considered Hiranyakashipu his enemy, because that is the beauty of Krishna consciousness, that you feel everyone has Krishna in their heart and you see everyone equally. You don't discriminate that, okay, you consider me powerful, then only I'll be. Krishna doesn't discriminate that. Krishna is in every soul, even the small ants you see on the floor, he's there with them. He's so sweet and humble. He wants to be there in them. So imagine, he loves us more than we love him. Your father, mother loves you more than we may hurt them, but they don't. You're a mother, right? I am a mother. So whatever our kids do, we never will go back and make sure that they are fine. We may be mad at them, we may scold them, but at the back of our mind, we know this is for their good, right? So that is the love of. So that was the first day, Holika Dahan. Now what Holika Dahan, deeper meaning is that fire represents burning of ego and negativity, right? That fire is, because Holika was born, negativity and ego was born with that fire. So that fire represents ego, burning of ego and negativity. Prahlad Maharaj represents pure devotion, faith in Krishna, pure faith. No, a second also he never thought that I'll die. Even if he was thinking, if I die, I'll go back to Krishna. I'll see Krishna there. Whatever will happen, Krishna's wish. And then Holika represents pride and misuse of power. She was proud that no one can burn me. I have this power. It's given by Lord Brahma. It's very easy for me to burn a 5-year-old boy, right? So I have that power, and she misused his power, right? She was doing wrong thing. Any power is given by anyone. If it's not used properly, then it's wrong. And that has consequences, and that's what happened with her. And then there comes divine protection, comes with sincere faith. Because of Prahlad Maharaj's faith, that sincere devotion and that protection from Krishna came in. Right? Everyone understood till now, Hiranyakashipu, the devotion of Prahlad, the faith, and how we should have faith in Krishna. Then, what Holi reminds us, especially Holika Dahan, is that we have to fill our heart with a lot of devotion and not ego, right? So if we are honest, and if we are honest with ourselves, and we everyone have little bit of holika within us. Accept it, I do have it. I mean, sometimes my daughter shows me the mirror. You know, if she has something, the first thing my husband comes is, where is she getting from? You or me? And it's most of the time mother, because they are always with the mother. So it's always, we have to reflect on ourselves. And believe me, as when I became a mother, I started becoming more cautious about my actions, because you don't want that to be given, or you want your child not to take those bad habits. So once I see she's getting this from me, I started immediately. For a simple example, I'm a working woman, I get up in the morning and I see sometimes, now after COVID I work from home, but before COVID I used to go to work. So there were times when the rooms are not clean, right? There are clouds, and I would just think as a woman, okay, I'll come and clean up. I saw my daughter keeping her clothes also the same way I kept my clothes. Now she can do it. She doesn't have to cook in the morning. She just have to go to shower and come back, and she can arrange her clothes, right? But that was coming from me. So I started making a point that even for 1 second, 30 seconds I will give to organize my clothes every morning, and then I will take out the clothes next day. So I made that habit. Now when I see her, I see that she has that habit, because now I have full right to say, look, this is not correct. See, I'm not doing it anymore. You should not do it anymore. Simple example. So what we have to do is, there are holika in our sex. This is a simple example. Many people have ego, anger, jealousy, greed, lot of big issues. But then what happens is that these things we need to burn, right? We need to burn our ego, we need to burn our jealousy, we need to burn our anger, and we need to let go. Like burning everything, it's very good, because it just brings you to more higher level, right? And you will feel that this is something which you will see a lot of positivity around you, because at least you will be in peace that I have no ego, I am not. Krishna is watching me, and I don't have that quality. It's good for you, right? You don't have any burden on you. Let go of, burn everything in the Holika Dahan, and then shine, right? So that is what the whole meaning of Holika. Now Holika represents devotion over ego. Now what Holi reminds us is that pure devotion of Prahlad Maharaj, right? We saw that Prahlad Maharaj's pure devotion and then Lord's protection of his devotees. So Lord always protects his devotees. He has promised in Bhagavad Gita that whenever my devotee needs me, I'll always be. So mother loves all of her kids, right? But if a child does a special gesture, like Krishna loves everyone, but Krishna loves devotees little more. So Krishna's love is there for everyone, but Krishna is Bhakta Vatsal, right? He is very dear to his devotees are very dear to him. So that doesn't mean that he doesn't love everyone. He loves it, but he loves little more, right? Because that devotee is little more dedicated to him. So there is more, right? So even we love our kids equally, but we do say that, oh, this kid has a special quality. I love this quality of this kid, right? So there is one kid who is helping a mother every day, and she's like, "You are dear to me. You understand me. You are more. You know what I need. You know how to please me." Those are extra things which the devotees are loved little more. But that doesn't mean that he doesn't love you. Don't take me wrong. He loves every one of you. As I said, he's in even small insects and everywhere. So he really loves you, and he really guides us. The only thing is that we need to seek guidance from him. We turn to a lot of material things for guidance, right? Motivational speakers, books, good. But if you turn to Krishna in your heart, you will find the answer. He will send someone with the answer. You just have to surrender to him, right? So that is what Prahlad Maharaj did. And then it also tells that it's a victory of bhakti over evil, right? It celebrates how sincere devotion conquers pride, ego, and negativity. So bhakti means deep connection with Krishna through love, through trust, and through surrender. So if you love, then you have trust, right? And if you trust, then you fully surrender. So that starts with love. In relationships, this has happened, right? If you love, start trusting that person, and then you fully surrender. Whatever that person says, you don't have a doubt that it's good for me. He's my well-wisher. Surrender. So that surrender is something which we have to achieve for the devotion. And sometimes you will feel the life is out of control, and for that, devotion is something which stabilizes. It's something, and that's what Prahlad Maharaj was saying, that every time he was going through a lot of things, but what kept him steady was his devotion, right? His devotion was something which created victory, and victory was not external. He was not powerful. He did not fight with Hiranyakashipu. It was internal victory. His story created or converted a lot of people internally. Like he gave an example of, you don't have to be powerful. You just have to surrender to the Lord to come up with that victory, right? He never had an ego, right? He was saved every time. He could have said, "Oh, Dad, look, I've been saved every time. You have been given this boon, but I have something powerful." No, his simple was, I am. In fact, he was thinking that I am a son of a demon, and Krishna may be thinking like, I am already fallen because I have that. I'm from a demon dynasty, so I don't think I'm qualified enough to love Krishna. So he was doing more austere, such a humble soul, right? And that's what attracts Krishna. That you consider yourself as a servant, as a servant of Krishna, surrender yourself, no ego, nothing, right? Simple. And that's what becomes victory, because then your devotion wins over your ego. Now comes the second day of festival, which is festival of colors. Now Holi, who has celebrated Holi? See? Yes. So if anyone thinks of Holi, the first thing comes up with colors. All colors, right? And then it's a vibrant festival, right? In fact, it has joy. I mean, after Holika Dahan, the biggest festival is like, kids look forward to have multiple colors, play Holi. And in that Holi, a lot of people forget everything. It's a joyous moment, right? So what happens? Everyone celebrates. This is an external meaning. What happens externally in Holi is everyone celebrates with enthusiasm. They play colors, they laugh, they sing, they dance. And it's one of the few festivals where barriers disappear, right? No one is thinking, oh, I don't speak with you, you are not a good neighbor. No one thinks like that. Everyone comes out and play Holi. No one has any kind of, barriers. And there is no age, no status, nothing. So everyone goes out and play Holi. And then that becomes joyful, right? So there are three things. One is joy, which brings, your coloring, laughing, singing, all those things. The next one is there are bright colors which are filled in the air, and it brings happiness because it's colorful, right? It's happiness. And we have all our, and it also brings excitement, right? Everyone becomes, vibrant. And that becomes colorful, like the atmosphere becomes colorful. Then the third one is people come together and forget differences and share moments of joy. So we all come together, we forget our differences, we don't consider young boy, even the kids play with elders, elders play with kids, all those stuff, statuses, everything is disappeared, like they play with everyone. So that becomes togetherness. So this festival, external, it means you have joy, you have color, and everyone plays it together, right? So you will see Holi played, it's never played with two people, it's like a bunch of people at one place and they play Holi. So that means external meaning is, it's joyous, it's colorful, and it brings everyone together. Now, what is the deeper meaning of this festival of colors? It's not about how much we celebrate Holi colors for outside, right? We spread, but Holi asks us to color our heart, right? So it's a deeper meaning is that it also tells us which color we pick up. Now that means in Krishna consciousness, colors are not just outside, they reflect the qualities of the soul, right? So each color has a different quality, and each color reflects a quality which is inner quality and external quality. So we'll go through those soon. But in Krishna consciousness, you have different colors of the soul, and you come up with those colors and in different situations. So Holi reminds us to let go of negativity and allow our hearts to be colored with divine qualities. So again, it reminds us that let's go. All the colors have their own significance, they have their own qualities, and it reminds us to remind ourselves to bring those qualities in our heart and nurture those and have that transformation, right? So each color will tell us that. And every color thrown in holy celebration carries a deeper spiritual meaning. Each color represents something within us. So we'll go over each color soon and you'll understand what this slide means. Together they remind us of who we are and who we can become. So now you will see colors thrown outside. There will be a lot of people throwing colors. But the anger, ego, and jealousy inside them is still there. But the real meaning of colors is how can we become more colorful from heart, right? So I may throw colors on you, but I still have ego and jealousy. Tomorrow I'll start behaving same way. But does that really mean what holy is? Because one day we are talking about, going from ego and going to positivity and, killing the negativity and going towards devotion. The other day we are saying throwing colors, but do we understand the real meaning of those colors? So that we will know soon. Now, true celebration is not just playing with colors, but transforming ourselves from within. So that's what it is, true colors, right? Understanding that this holy celebration reminds me of these colors, and these colors should remind me of who I actually want to become. Each color reminds me of something, and then it reminds me of what I want to become. So those are the things which we will see, because each color represents a quality, and those qualities we need to develop within ourselves. So what does the red color mean? Red color means love and devotion for God. What does it externally mean? Celebration, right? Red color is celebration. In marriage, most of the brides wear red color. Beautiful color. One of my favorite color. Red, right? It always gives you a celebration mood. Have everyone just think about red color, it's always celebration, right? So, and then it's energy, right? So those are the two things which tells you it's passion, love, which is a natural state. Like love is a natural state of our heart, right? Our soul or our heart is meant to be loved. So that's a true love. But then if we do that, if we add that red color in devotion of God, it becomes love and devotion for Krishna. What does that mean? I love Krishna, right? So now if you add that in your life as a devotion, as a color of love, and if I tell you that, what does this red color tell you? I want to love Krishna more and more. This reminds me. So when you play with red color, that means I want to love Krishna. And how you love Krishna is love everyone, because Krishna is in everyone's heart. So now the good quality we learn here is, I will not be angry or jealous of everyone. I will equally consider everyone. I love everyone because I love Krishna, and Krishna is in everyone's heart. Right? So that means love, red color tells you about love, and love for Krishna, that is devotion for Krishna. And because you are devotion for Krishna, you understand everyone. There is Krishna is everyone's heart, and that quality you develop, that you love Krishna, you love all, not a single, not only humans but animals, all souls, all living beings, right? And then we need to ask ourselves, what do we truly love? What do we truly love actually? So, if I say that I love Pani Puri, I love Pani Puri. I know. So, I love Pani Puri, but can I eat it every day? I don't think so, right? And if I eat it every day, I might not love it anymore. But if I love Krishna every day, I don't think I'll stop loving him, right? So if you love, for example, your kids, how much you love your kids, how much you love your partner, right? So if there is something the kids don't behave nicely, we will stop loving them. No. So there is always, in material world, there is always this thing that what is the source of happiness is the source of distress. Whatever brings happiness to you will someday bring distress to you. If I love my child, there is someday he will hurt me, she will hurt me. I may forgive, but that hurt is always, it's possible, right? So whatever is the source of happiness is the source of distress. Similarly, but in Krishna consciousness, if I love Krishna, he will never hurt me. He's the only one who will be there with me. God is with us even after we die in the form of super soul. Now imagine someone who is with you after you die. How much he will love you, how much he loves you, right? We have this body, that's why we have our relations. But once we leave this body, the relations are gone. After some time they will forget. I don't remember my grandfather anymore. They are gone if we keep moving on in our life. But Krishna remembers, Krishna goes with that soul in the next birth. So he never leaves you. So imagine how much he loves us. Now, if he loves us so much, is it bad to love him back? I don't think it's not a bad bargain, right? Can you imagine to love someone who is going to be with you all the time? That's what we want. As a soul, we want our, we say soulmate, right? But I don't know if next birth I'll have the same soulmate. We pray, right? Women, we pray, but not guaranteed. What if he doesn't like me? He doesn't want me, right? There is always there. But what happens is if you love Krishna, he can be with you all the time. So that love should be, I love Krishna. Whatever condition he keeps me on. If your child keeps you in, misbehaves with you, still love him, right? So if Krishna gives you difficulty, why not love him more and more? Because those problems which Krishna gives, he's the only one who's going to take us out of it. Our mind, our things are limited. He knows what is in future. So we are limited. I cannot predict what will happen after my lecture. Right? So we are limited knowledge. But what happens after that is Krishna knows. So if he knows everything, right, then leave it on him. Just surrender. So that love for Krishna should be there. Now, yellow is the color of real happiness, which is from self-realization. Now, it means external meaning is brightness and happiness. Now, just what do you think of brightness? What first thing comes in your mind? Anyone? Sunflower? Yeah, sunlight. Brightness, right? So, just like sunlight brightens everything around us, right? Similarly, if we have a positive mindset, it can brighten our world, right? It can brighten our whole day. If we start our day with positive mindset. So external meaning is brightness and happiness. If you start your day with positivity, you become happy. You feel bright, right? But if you start your day, like for example, last night I didn't have good sleep, so I started very dull, right? And because of that, my whole day was dull. But if I had a good sleep, I start with nice, beautiful mindset, positive mindset. My day is good. Even if, and that day, if I hear something negative around me, I'll say, okay, I'll deal with this. I know I can deal with this, right? Positive mindset. So what internal meaning is knowledge and spiritual wisdom. Now what knowledge and spiritual wisdom means, when we understand who we are and we stop chasing temporary happiness. Now who we are we this body or are we soul? Because if I die, this body is gone and I may get another body next life. But who am I? I'm soul. And what is the core nature of soul? To love God. Right? If we understand this, then all this material happiness we will understand is temporary. Right? As I said, source of happiness is source of distress. So if I love Pani Puri now, see, I love Shrikhand. I'm telling you a beautiful, fresh example. There was Gudi Padwa, everyone knows. So I made Shrikhand at home. But I have this, I have this cough every time. So my body has cough. And because I love Shrikhand very much, I had a whole bowl of Shrikhand last night. And because of that, it was hard for me in the whole night to breathe because I had cough. Now that happiness became a problem for me. I couldn't sleep and I woke up with a foggy head in the morning, and the whole day I'm suffering from cough and I'm trying to suppress it and see if I can, But that became happy. So now I decided I'm not going to touch it. And if I have to eat it, I'll eat it in the morning, right? Because in the night it's more dangerous. So now that happiness. So I was thinking the whole day, how can I leave it? I love Srikhand and I love the Srikhand. If anyone brings it, how will I control it? But it became a problem for me. I have to control it, right? So that became, it's a material thing, but that became a problem. But if I understand that Srikhand is fine, but if it is not keeping me well, then I am not able to serve you all. I'm sitting here and giving you a lecture, but my voice is not there. I'm coughing. I'm not able to serve you all, and I'm able to serve Krishna properly. So is Srikhand that much important that it's coming between me and Krishna? I don't think so. So then you understand you are not this body or soul, because you are thinking that my soul needs to be happy. I'll forget Krishna for Krishna because my soul wants to be with Krishna. Right? So we understand who we are. These things, the likings and dislikings are on body level. Right? So that is what the whole thing is, that you have to understand. The internal thing is you understand knowledge. And when you understand this knowledge, then you have spiritual wisdom. And when we understand who we are, we don't chase the temporary happiness of this material world. And then we get the happiness from within us, If I'm happy, if I say I don't want to eat Srikhand and my health is happy, and I get to serve Krishna more, I am happy. What is Srikhand? It's fine, right? So that is brightness. The next is blue color. The color of blue is the color of divine. In Krishna, we find peace. It's a divine color, just like any example of blue color. What do you think when the color is blue? What? Ocean, yes. So how ocean is, you see the ocean looks very calm on surface, but there are like a lot of waves inside, right? A lot of waves are happening inside. So we can remain steady even when the life is busy. We can remain steady. Calm, right? And when you see the ocean, when you see the sky, blue, beauty, right? It's beautiful sky. When you see the sky, you see that sky is always there. Even the clouds come in, the sky is always there, right? So problems are going to be in life. But if you be calm, right? If you be steady, and how do you be steady? If you are connected to Krishna, right? Prahlad Maharaj had so many problems in his, because of his dad, but he remains steady in his Krishna consciousness, his devotion. And that's why, what happened? Krishna protected him and we had calm, right? Blue color is, Krishna was blue, right? Calm, beauty. And then we are connected with Krishna, we are protected by Krishna, we feel God's presence every time. Even if we don't feel it, God is still there with us, right? Even if we don't feel it, but He's still there. As I said, He's still there. He's still there in you as a super soul. Many people don't even, animals don't understand if there is Krishna or not. They don't have intelligence to understand this. But Krishna is still there. He doesn't say, oh, you don't understand me, I don't want to come to you. No, right? So that is why even if, like a sky, even if the clouds are there, it's there. So Krishna is there to protect us. You have to understand that, right? The next color is green. Everyone wants to have green color, right? We are fed up of winter. So green is the color of growth, right? Our growth spiritually and how we help each other to grow. Externally it is freshness. I'm running out of time, so I'll go very fast on this. So externally it is freshness, but internally it is growth and compassion. So we have to grow in our spiritual life. We have to help each other grow in our spiritual life. And the growth should not be just personal, but it should be spiritual growth, which can bring kindness, right? The first step is to be kind to others, compassionate to others, and give Krishna to everyone so they can also, feel the same happiness what we feel. So we want to grow, but we want to grow with compassion, and we want all others to grow as well. So orange color is to let go of ego. It's forgiveness. It's color, discover your true self. It's also color of renunciation, it's said. So it's basically you It's vibrant, right? Orange, sunset, vibrant, right? And then the internal is you go let go of your ego and find your inner strength. So letting go doesn't mean losing it. Letting go means freeing yourself. Making yourself you free from your burden of your ego or anger. You basically forgive someone and see how happy you are because you're not having that burden on your chest that okay, this person fed me. So you don't want to have that burden, right, on your chest that okay, this person said this to me. But if you let it go, forgive them, you won't even think about that person. Your life is peaceful, right? Forgiveness. So then that's what it is. So once you know your own self, your swarup, your egoism goes away. Once you know your soul, this body is there. That's why I have these issues. I have anger. I have this. I have feelings. Everything. But if I know I'm soul, soul is always blissful, right? Satchidanand, soul is always blissful. So it's full of intelligence. If you are intelligent, will you be really caring about what people think of you or what you think of people? Because after some time, if I am this body, that's why I have my daughter and this. After I die and I become in another body, she won't recognize me. So what we have to think is that who we are and our growth is just to forgive and just be that peace, let go things and be peaceful and just remember Krishna. These are the qualities of soul. And now purple means faith, surrender, and which brings us closer to God. Now faith means what? Trust without control, right? Krishna doesn't put gun on your head like you should trust me. No, there's no control. If I love someone, like if you throw the child, young boy, the child has trust that my mother will catch me, not let me fall down. Faith, right? Does the child say, oh, I will only go up if you catch me, or otherwise I'll be mad? No. If you throw the child, he's happy, in fact he's smiling because he's enjoying that. But he has faith that you'll catch him. Similarly, that trust is there. That whatever situation Krishna puts me in, he'll make sure that I'm coming out with flying colors because I know he's with me, protecting me, right? So when things don't go your way, right? What we do? We panic, right? But when we panic, what we have to do is we have to surrender, not panic. And now surrender doesn't mean weakness, right? I'm weak, that's why I'm surrendering. No. Surrender means you have to make that surrender to God is your strength, not weakness, right? Surrender to the Supreme doesn't mean you're weak. In fact, that gives you strength. You're surrendering to someone who is always there, going to be protecting you, right? If my daughter has any issues, she comes to me and asks me, does that mean that she is weak? No. She needs guidance, she needs help, she has trust on me. And she knows that I'm going to guide her nicely and, help her. And I'm going to give her strength to deal with that, right? So it doesn't mean weakness. It means you're going to Krishna to ask for strength. So the ultimate goal of bhakti is to get Krishna, and we get it by taking shelter of the holy name. That's the purple and that's the richness. Purple is richness, and then it tells you about faith and surrender. Now, what are the divine colors within a woman? Every woman has these colors. You all have these colors in you. You just need to find out what these colors are. Red. Red is prem, love. We all have love, right? Mother's love, your love for your parents, love for your partner. Love, we have love. Women have love. The soul's nature is love. Means we are meant to be offered to Krishna with sincerity. And an example is gopis of Vrindavan, right? Small story. Krishna was sick one time and everyone was saying, how do we cure him? And everyone was running around to find solution. Krishna said, if whoever is my pure devotee, if I get the dust of his lotus feet on my head, I'll be cured. So everyone went to Rukmini, everyone went to all the devotees, and no one was ready because everyone was like, I don't want to go in hell by giving the feet lotus, dust and putting on Krishna, his God. I'll go to hell. But when gopis of Vrindavan came to know that Krishna is sick, they gave the dust and Uddhav said, you are going to go to hell. And they said, no, it's fine. We are ready to go to hell for Krishna. If he's fine, we are fine. Even for hell, we are ready to go. That is, I get goosebumps on my body. That is his love for Krishna. I'm ready to go through a lot of problems because I really love him. A woman goes through a lot of problems in her life with, dealing with, it's like giving birth is different thing, but even raising kids, everyday struggle. Get up in the morning, it's a new struggle, new day. All agree, right? From a child of like a 1-year-old to 5-year-old to 16, 17-year-old, right? We have all seen this struggle. But what doesn't change is our love for them. We still will get up in the morning. We still will go. They will just say, "Don't, mom, leave me alone. Just go." But we still will go. Okay, I am. My love. So that love is there, and that's the love of gopis for Krishna. That love we should have. I will, many times it happens. So I dress Radha Gopinalam on Sunday morning. Many times Saturdays, like some home programs, or I go outside. And when I see that I'm late, and many times I don't get enough sleep. Now, one heart says that, okay, can I just sleep? But if you go in the morning and just see Gopi Vallabh, and they are so happy, right? Like I said in the beginning of the class, you all are here sacrificing the beautiful weather outside and sitting here. This is your love for Krishna. Because you are here to hear about him, to know about him more, and to understand, how do I grow my love? How do I grow in Krishna consciousness? How do I come to that platform where I get the strength from him by surrendering to him, like how Prahlad Maharaj did, right? So that love for gopis. Now the other color is yellow, right? So yellow color is of Gyan and Anand, right? Brightness and happiness. So spiritual knowledge from Bhagavad Gita that brings true happiness beyond material life. So what does that mean? So example of the lady is Kunti Maharani. Kunti had so many problems, right? Everyone knows she went through a lot of problems. She went through, her husband, then her kids, Pandav, every problem, right? But she never had that fear, right? She never she never was fearful that, okay, what will happen next? But when the first time she was, she had fear, was he got the kingdom, right? Everyone was, Pandavas were the winner. And then Krishna said, now it's time for me to leave. That's the point where she was like, oh no, that's the first time she was afraid. Like, no, what will happen, right? So she had this material happiness, right? She had the whole kingdom. She was the, Maharani. She was the queen, the mother of the whole, the king there. She had all opulences. Earlier, she never had opulences. She has, she was always, she was with her kids. She saw those that, they were out in exile. They were all out. So they saw everything. But what she never had that fear. When was she afraid is when Krishna said, I'm leaving. So her sons became king, and yet she is ready to accept all calamities. She said, if at all, if that helps, then if I want to be surrounded with calamities, because I know then you will be here to help us or protect us. So she had everything. That the first thing she said, I'm ready to take. So that is what the beauty of real Gyan. She had the Gyan. She had that spiritual knowledge that Krishna is there to protect me, and that knowledge, that Gyan in Krishna is the source of all her happiness. So Gyan and Anand. So that the Gyan which she had, that Krishna is there, that became her happiness in those calamities. But the minute she has all the material opulences and Krishna is not there, then she realized that no, I cannot do this. So she had this spiritual knowledge that if Krishna is with me, all problems are fine, because I know I'll be out of it. Krishna is with me. And even if I'm not out, that's something which may be a lesson to me, but I'll be fine because Krishna is with me. Then the next color is orange, Tyag, the color of Tyag and Shakti. Tyag and Shakti means Tyag is, if you see Draupadi's, it's an inner strength to let go of ego and serve Krishna with humility. Draupadi Vasaharan, when she was disrobed, what first thing she did is she looked at the king. First she looked at her husbands to help. Then she looked at the kings. The king, the elders there. Then she tried to stop herself. She took all her strength to stop the Dushasan, right? But when she realized that it's out of her hand, she raised her two hands and then she surrendered to Krishna, that you protect me now. Now, Tyag, what Tyag she did, and then full surrender, that becomes her Shakti, right? So, what Tyag she did is letting go of her ego. This was her ego, right? I can protect myself, I can control, I can do it myself. That was her ego. But when the minute she did that tyag of her, she gave that surrender. She said, okay, I cannot do it. Then she became more powerful because now Krishna. Then she was saved because she became more powerful. That became her Shakti, right? So Draupadi Vastranavali is the best example of letting go of your ego and then letting go of that control that I can handle it, and then surrender, and then you become more powerful because now you have protection of Krishna. The next one is green, which is Karuna. Srimati Radharani, Maha Karuna, right? Srimati Radharani, whenever you offer there is food offered, right, to Krishna. Now food is made by devotees, and we have so many anarthas. While making food, we have so many prajalpa talk. We have talk about all these things, and your consciousness gets transferred into the food. But when it goes to Krishna, do you really want that food to be? Do you think it is considered as offerable? No. But when it offered, Krishna Radharani glances at it, and it takes out all the problems from there, and it makes it offerable to Krishna. And when Krishna eats it, and then he says, "Wow, this is made so beautiful, puris. Who made this?" She doesn't take the credit. She said, that devotee who is serving in the kitchen, that devotee made it. Why? She's Karunamayi Radhe, right? She's so much merciful that she's bringing us to Krishna. You cannot go to Krishna without her Karuna. No, mothers are more merciful than fathers. My daughter needs anything, she messages me that, "Mom, I need this snack." And then my husband sees Apple Pay $5 deducted, right? But why she does that? Because she knows that I'll say yes, right? So mothers are, Karunamaya. Radharani is the Mahakarunamaya, right? So that is all there. So without her Karuna, we cannot go to Krishna. The last one is blue. So blue is the color of Shraddha and Samarpan. So we have Uttara. Everyone knows Uttara. Her, Ashwatthama was killing her son in her womb, and then she surrendered to Krishna. She ran to Krishna. She had that Shraddha. She had that faith in Krishna, and then she surrendered. Right? She remembered Krishna, and then Krishna went into her womb and saved the son. Right? And then the last one is purple. Now the soul's deepest nature is loving service. Now Srimati Radharani, she is always serving Krishna. Right? Bhakti means to love. Love means to express with service and surrender. How do I know how do my kid know that I love him? I serve my kid, right? I serve my family, that shows I love them. So love is always shown by service. So Radharani is always busy in service. Her highest form of devotion is, Radharani represents the highest form of devotion, that is bhakti, right? And then her only desire is to how can she please Krishna, and her happiness only comes from Krishna. And then I just want you to take a minute and, these are the colors, these are the different colors we have. Just offer these colors of celebration. Let your heart be full of devotion. Let our, love, let love by doing seva. Let us have faith by doing, by surrendering. And live our lives as an offering, right? So when we offer these colors, we do that way. I have a small, I want to say just a small story of Vrindavan. I there is a Gulal Kund, and it's in Vrindavan, and that's the place where Krishna celebrated Holi, and it's like near Govardhan, and it's a place called Gantoli. It's like the first time Radharani and Krishna's clothes were tied together. That's the place is called Gantoli. It's like Gatbandhan. And then it is believed that the waters there once filled with natural colors, and devotees visit to relive these divine pastimes and celebrate spirituality. So Holi here is not just a celebration, but it is divine love that is in action, and it reminds us that the joy and devotion can come together. Right? So Vrindavan Holi tells us that devotion and happiness, joy can be together. Remember joy, color, togetherness. You are joy, you all are together, and you are having colors, but in devotion you can have these three together. So when I showed you the slide, that external meaning is joy, color, and togetherness, but in devotion you can do it as well. And then this is a small video, but I don't want to show the video. Yeah, thank you. Any questions? Sorry, I wanted to show video so bad, but I ran out of time. questions? Any questions? No questions.
I have a question.
Yes.
So the Draupadi example you gave about surrender. So surrender at a higher level is fine, but how do us normal people understand? Like Draupadi didn't have a normal ego. She just went to people for help, and then no one helped, and she went to Krishna. So the endeavor still has to be there, right? Like for us, we can't just say, I'm not going to do anything, Krishna's going to do things for me. You still have to perform some action. Can you talk a bit more about that?
Yeah, so you can do that as long as you know your consciousness is very clear, right? So there are steps. For example, if I am going through some issue, I don't expect Krishna to come personally, right? Krishna, you have to surrender in a way that you have to pray to Krishna that give me intelligence to deal with this. So your intelligence is something which should be so purified that it should be what is good for me to grow in Krishna consciousness, as well as I don't want to hurt, or I don't want to create, or I don't want to go have someone else go through any problem because of me, right? So you go to solve that problem. Many times it happens that you want to go and you want to solve that problem. For example, there was one time when I was working and I used to bring sweets. But when I used to give sweets to people, they started thinking that, okay, they did not accept it as prasadam and they started making fun of it, right? Then I stopped taking it because I figured out this is not going in the right way, right? But does that mean that I stopped going to work? No, I didn't feel bad about that. I didn't feel any anger in me to them. But what I said is a simple solution, right? I brought sweets. You start because they asked me what it is, and I said very nicely. I was very new to his Krishna consciousness. I said, oh, this is from the temple. If you eat it, it purifies your consciousness, and they didn't like it. So that was my first lesson. That how do we preach? So I was not angry, or that doesn't stop me from preaching, right? That didn't stop me. I changed my way of preaching. So we have to understand that surrender means not giving up. Surrender means trying different way by keeping your consciousness steady in Krishna, right? So teaching your kids, like I gave an example that she learned from me that I was not keeping my clothes nicely. Now I will preach her, tell her, but then she will not listen till I bring it into action. So there are ways. So in day-to-day life, we may encounter some problems, we may encounter many people, and we may have to deal with a lot of problematic things and a lot of problematic people. But as long as you know in your heart, in your mind, that you are going with Krishna's protection, I'm very sure your intelligence will be sharp and there will be some solution, right? We don't see Krishna's hand directly, but indirectly there is always there. You will pray to Krishna, the Krishna in the heart of the person will make it, they will understand it. Not today, maybe after some time when they go through the same situation. But you become very much clear that I am going there not to satisfy my ego and tell me, oh, I know more than you, right? I have Krishna with me, you are not that intelligent, I have this intelligence. No, I'm not. Because that person have a different qualities which I may like. Everyone has a quality. Everyone has something which we should learn from. Some people teach us how to be in life. Some people teach us how not to be in life. So there are things are always there to learn from everyone. So as long as we are learning good things like a honeybee, we are fine. So going and fighting or surrendering doesn't mean we are weak, but we understand. If someone is really mad and shouting at us, do we shout back? No, right? Listen to that person's frustration. Understand it's coming from a different perspective. Understand he must be going through a lot of pain, right? Listen to him. Try to make your mind very calmly, very humbly. If he understood, fine. If he doesn't understood, find another way. Krishna will find another way for you. And if it doesn't work, then Krishna has better plan for you.
And also, we have to still make our efforts.
Yes.
In terms of solving
Efforts,
issues.
yes.
And then if we do get any way to solve it, it's like the intelligence given to us by Krishna. Like as you said, he doesn't personally come every time. Like in Draupadi's case.
Yeah, he doesn't come, but he will come in different ways. For example, he will send someone some spiritual guidance in your life. He will, or sometimes in my personal life, it has helped me a lot. I sit in front of my deities, and I sit and I talk to them, I tell them my problem, and the first thing comes to my mind, open Bhagavad Gita. I open random page of Bhagavad Gita and I read that shlok, and when I read the shlok, I find the answer. Right? So try it at work. Try this. I have tried this with kids a lot. Right? So try it. There is always a answer in Bhagavad Gita has everything. So the only thing is that surrender. We need to surrender. We need to understand that we are not the control. We are not the control. We have to, you see, if you need water in a glass, the glass cannot say I'll be above the jug. It has to be below, and then the jug has to be on the top so that the water is poured in there. So you have to take humble position when you have to seek an answer, right? When you want something, you have to surrender to Krishna. You have to go with an humble approach, not with your ego that I am the controller, I can control, like Hiranyakashipu did. I am God. But if you go like humble, like Prahlad, no, I have no qualification. Krishna's protection is there. Krishna is the supreme. I surrender to him. He got everything, right? So that's go with solution, but with surrender to Krishna, and you will find it. And as long as you have faith that you see. They say if you see Krishna's hand in everything, then why don't you leave everything in Krishna's hand? So faith, if you have faith in Krishna, then you will leave everything in his hand, and then you won't have any problem.
Thank you.
Right? Thank you. Yes.
Yeah, so we can go with the reflection activity now. So you will be